Okay. I have a confession.
Okay. It's not like I know it, but tell me.
And I don't think you do.
Okay, tell me then.
Okay. So the internet's a weird place, right?
Yeah.
And there are people on the internet, like everyone's got their thing. And when I say thing, I mean their kink. Okay.
Yes.
And sometimes your kink, not mine, but the general you, like feet. And so the sharing of feet on the internet has become this very, very interesting thing. And there's people who are like, why don't I share my feet for free? I know because I have received DMs in the past that from you two that my feet have been downloaded to other people's hard drives. Okay.
Mm.
And my confession is that I don't care because every time I share my feet and then I talk about my feet, and then my favorite line is like, listen, if you really like feet or if you don't like feet, you're going to want to keep scrolling. And if you really like feet, please also keep scrolling. Yes. And I always say that because guess what? The algorithm loves it.
Yeah.
And so I proudly share my feet for free on the internet, and I have no shame about it because it makes me money in other ways. So I will not be starting my OnlyFans because you can see that shit for free on TikTok.
I do believe you and I have had conversations when you first were starting your TikToks. And I'm like, well, you need to show more, booty in that. And you should have a smaller shirt because it does help the algorithm. It really does. Now they don't want you to have a too small a shirt though, because TikTok is all about skin not being there.
No, but show your feet. Someone said I had little duck feet, and I'm like, I don't even know what that means, but
you have little hobbit feet. They're very tiny and cute. I mean, super small. Tell the audience here what size shoe you wear.
Oh, I wear a 6.5 in women's.
Yeah.
And it's right at the border where I can also wear children's shoes.
Yeah.
Which are cheaper, which is unfair because it's the same amount of material as it would be as an adult shoe. So why is it $30 less expensive?
Because kids run out of their shoes faster. They just grow out of them. So if they charge the same amount of money, people would be like, you get socks. You get wrapped grocery bags.
That makes sense. I mean, because then I buy the kid shoe and I wear it for 4 years because I'm gross.
That's all right. I mean, my head is abnormally small, so I wear kid hats, and they also are cheaper.
Yeah, the kid stuff, man, it's cheaper.
Yeah, because real people hats are just giant on me. They go down to my nose. They're just huge.
No, I got a big old cabeza.
Yeah.
It's filled with secrets. That's why it's so big.
It's filled with secrets. I love it. That is a Mean Girl, everyone. If you're not a Mean Girl fan, that is a Mean Girl fandom right there. All right, and let's go ahead and get this party started. Hi, I'm Sybil Solon. I'm an esthetician and spa owner.
And hi, I'm Alex Ellis. I'm a body nerd and wellness expert, and we are business besties.
And bosses. Running your own business, it's hard.
But we're terrible employees, so we're figuring it out.
I mean, I've clearly figured it all out, but we promise to share everything we know about what it takes to make six figures and beyond.
And be brutally honest about what works and what totally sucks.
A bunch of it totally sucks. So let's get started, because we're definitely going to be talking about some suckage today, but in nice ways.
Yes, it makes me giggle every time. So welcome back to Skinfessional. On today's show, we're talking about how to just do the thing.
Do the thing. And why you should allow yourself to put, I'm going to start that again. And why you should allow yourself to put out bullshit, knowing it will evolve to be something better.
Mm-hmm. Woo. Yes. Okay. So, we're like, what do you want to talk about? Well, I don't know.
Let's start with, this started because Alex is like, I want to do this thing, but I haven't done this thing because I think I should be doing something else. And then I was like, but you literally tell us all the time to do the same thing over and over again. And so I'm like, look,
advice, I don't take it.
So, because this is all super relevant to what really happens when you want to do the thing, but then you're like, you stop yourself from doing the thing because you overthink it for so many reasons. And part of this episode is about having somebody else tell you to just do the thing. Like having a friend in your life, whatever, to tell you just go do the thing.
Yes. So if you're thinking about doing something, as your friend, go fucking do it. Just figure it out. You can do it. You can do it. Because I think also there's this like idea, I mean, we have these conversations all the time because you have a bajillion, awesome ideas of great products that like I have partaken in as well. And I'm like, these are going to fucking change people's lives. I know people that brow guide, like people need the brow guide. Okay.
That is one of the things that I am going to put out bullshit. I'm just like, I'm putting out the bullshit. Literally, it's going to be out by Friday because I'm putting out the bullshit. That's what I'm allowing myself to do.
Yes. So this is what we're talking about is putting something out. And also we like, unless you are, I guess maybe like a surgeon, that might be kind of permanent. The initial metaphor I thought of is like, unless you're laying concrete, that could be permanent, but even concrete, you can go back in and tear it out. Like there are very few things that you can do that are permanent, never going to be changed. Yeah. And so you can put something out and know it's not perfect and know it's not exactly what you want it to be, but like at least it's out there. And to me, that is the hardest part, is just getting started.
Yes, that first draft. And, I'm a writer, and it's taken me years as a writer to just allow myself to essentially write whatever. I'm like, it doesn't have to be good. Don't go back and reread it. Just like write whatever. Wait for 3 or 4 days and then look at it again. And then do like somebody else look at it and then do like 1 or 2 rewrites. And that's it, because nobody else is going to read it like you do. Nobody's as care. And you're not writing a grand novel unless you're writing the grand novel, but you're probably not. You're probably writing a blog post, an email, I don't know, copy for something. How many times have you changed your copy on your page, Alex?
Oh, I just went back like literally last week and audited stuff. It's never permanent. No. But I think also the thing that like stops us is that we're worried about the trolls, or like people complaining or whatever. So from, again, one friend to another, people are going to talk shit no matter what. They're going to talk shit if you wait until it's perfect. They're going to talk shit if you put up bullshit. So just put it up anyways.
Okay, so I am never worried over the trolls. Okay, so I'm going to tell a story. So I put out some retinol videos that literally are still doing great on TikTok because essentially I'm both sarcastic, which people then get enraged by.
So enraged.
The
comments made me so uncomfortable. I was personally offended. I'm like, it's not even about
me. And then also, I was just talking about it was something that's very like controversial. The idea that I think retinol is the devil and you shouldn't be using it. And if you are, you're stupid. Though I never call people stupid, but like that was the implication by the idea that like, I'm like, yeah, go do that. So I can enrage people by just looking at people, apparently. Enough that they'll be like, say things that are completely irrelevant and it doesn't matter. But what I realized is that I don't care about the trolls. But what stresses me out is my own inner troll, which we've also talked about. My own inner troll that's like, that sucks. You didn't teach good enough. That wasn't like solid. People are going to come back to you later and be like, I thought you were smart, but you're dumb. Mm-hmm. That's my own inner troll. I don't even need other people's trolls. I have my own.
Okay, so I literally scrolled across on Instagram during our break in between episodes. I don't know who this bro is, okay? His name is Dr. Doyle, Dr. Glenn Patrick Doyle. He has like 70,000 followers on Instagram. He's a psychologist and an author, okay? Oh shit, where'd it go? I just clicked out of it. It disappeared. He says, if we weren't supportively talked through tough situations while we were growing up, chances are we're not good at talking ourselves through tough situations now. It's a skill. We learn it. We're bad at it. We get better at it. Just start by talking to yourself kindly today. That's it. And the episode's over. Thank you so much for joining us today.
That is our TED Talk. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I mean, that's also it though, right? Yes. Because so for you, I mean, I can't even hear my own internal trash talking because I'm too busy worrying about you guys. Like a 19-year-old called me a Muppet last week and I'm still not okay about it. Right? You guys, but like that's the worst case scenario, right? That someone's going to say something mean about you on the internet, and like from 2 people on the internet, they're going to say something mean, just whatever. It's going to happen anyways.
And it's not going to happen. So like, for example, on these retinol videos, literally people are calling me fat, which by the way, I am. Whatever. You're not hurting my feelings because it has nothing to do with the retinol talk I'm having a conversation with. Right. But like your trolls are out there and they're talking about like whatever, the ones that are like, well, it's not sciencey enough. Okay, cool. Whatever. It's a TikTok. Congratulations. Come to my masterclass on why retinol is bad. Pay me money and I'll tell you.
I mean, I put up research behind me And then people say, well, that's not true. And then I don't put up research, and then they go show me the research. So like literally you can never please anybody. No. So don't try, and don't let that stop you from doing something that you're thinking about, that you're dreaming about, that you think would be really cool, even if it's weird and nobody else is doing it. Like just do the thing already. Just do it.
Just do it. And know that, it doesn't have to, you don't have to have it all together. So this is also a thing that happens. Like we think that it has to be all together. It's like, well, and this happens to me. Hello, Brown Guide. Every time I've shown it to somebody, they're like, oh, but I thought that it should have this and this piece. I'm like, yeah, that would be good.
I should add that later as a bonus.
Go back and do that. And then I was like, no, just put out the bullshit. It's, you know what? It's better than everybody else's brow guide because like, let me tell you, my brow guide's fucking badass. Just as
my eyebrows look so much better than they used to. Here's a testimonial right here, you guys.
And I will say that because it's been so long, I took a before and after picture and now it's included in the guide. So, and you can do that anytime. You can update your shit at any time. Just go in and be like, hey, I've updated this. I've redone it. And allow yourself to let it evolve. Because a lot of times what will happen is you'll start one place and be like, I'm doing this one thing. This is the thing I'm doing. And then you get feedback. And the feedback sometimes has you evolve it in a way that you're like, wow, this isn't where I started at all. But it's okay because that's what the people want. Now, if you're like, no, but this is my passion. This is what I want to get out. Understand that that's fine. But maybe listen to what people want and evolve into that. It's okay. Alex, do you have anything where you started out as one thing and then you did something else? Like it became this something different?
Well, I mean, even like my membership and Movement Mavens,
yes, that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, of how I wanted it to be and what it was going to be like. And even that, like I evolved and changed it to meet the needs of the people in the group. And even since then I've realized, okay, what are the people that get the most out of it? How can I front load it to make sure that they get those things? Like it's constantly evolving. And then something that I like fought you on was doing a subscription just to my videos. Because I was like, well, that's like not the full experience. Like that's not the whole thing. But that wasn't what everybody needs or everybody wants. Like I have people who will hop into that subscription, get what they need, and then leave. And that's fine. But while that's happening, like I'm literally making hundreds of dollars a month and I didn't do anything. The work is already done, And that's something I waited a long time to do. So it isn't always just what you want it to be. But I think ultimately at the end of the day, our businesses aren't about us. They're about how we serve our clients. So it's like meeting what they need. People's eyebrows need your guide, Sybil. They need it.
They do. And it is what it comes down to is you have to understand who you're serving. Yeah. And give the people what they want. Now, if it goes against like your ethical feelings, look at why you have those because sometimes it's something deeper that has nothing to do with anything. And, you'll discover that you're just holding strong about something that's not necessary. But people want something. If you don't provide it, somebody else will. And that doesn't mean like Michael Jackson, where somebody, wouldn't give him propofol. And so he went and got it down the street until he died.
But, great example. Great example.
Well, that's what I always think. So for myself, when I'm thinking about, I'm like, this is something that feels uncomfortable for me. This isn't how I thought I'd do this. This isn't what I thought I was going to do with this. And then it will evolve and I'll be like, but this is what literally people. So for example, when I created the nap time facial, I originally started it out as a migraine massage. This started as a migraine massage. I have a best friend who has literally a migraine that goes on. It's been going on for like 15 years. Every day, wow. It's just levels of how bad it is. And so I looked into research on how you can help migraines. And one of the things was downregulating the nervous system. And so I started doing that on my clients to practice, like, how can I get rid of headaches? What can I do for this? And I created this massage for my friend. And what I learned as I was going along is actually my clients, they don't care about their heads at all. Most of them don't have migraines, but what they do want is sleep. They want rest. They want a nap. And that helped me understand when I asked people questions, what they actually want. Can I serve them this? So I don't have a migraine facial on my menu. I have a nap time facial on my menu.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give the people what they want. But I think too, like sometimes our ideas can get kind of like stuck in our head,
Yeah.
and we're just like thinking about something. I mean, even for me, before we started talking about, my idea and just getting it out of my head was so helpful.
Talking about it to somebody.
Yeah, talking about it to someone. So even if you like create something for an individual person, then going back to your other clients, like, hey, I'm thinking about, and that's my favorite phrase, I'm thinking about doing blah, 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 blah. What do you think? And then they'll give you more ideas for how to flesh it out so that when you are ready to put out that shitty first draft, it is something that people want. You haven't just like created it in the darkest recesses of your closet without any input or any advice or anything like that.
That is 100% true.
Yeah. So like get out of your own way, which I think is a book that's on my bookshelf. But another thing that came to mind, this was from Tim Ferriss, who is like, when you feel like stressed out, like you should be hiring a VA and working, like 4-hour work week and all that, it's his fault. And we'll be forever mad at him for that. But in some interview, he was talking about fear, and someone's like, well, you just do all of these things. Like you just do the thing and like, you're not worried about it. And he's like, well, I mean, I am, but also what actually is fear? Mm-hmm. And if I'm not, if my like life isn't threatened, it's not really scary. Like I will be, maybe anxious about it or a little bit nervous about it, but like, I'm not going to lose my house. I'm not going to lose my life. So it's really not that big of a deal. Mm-hmm. Right. And so again, if you're like a Formula One driver, none of this applies to you, but for us in our business, right, I might be terrified to, invest in some software or invest in something to be able to do this other thing. Mm-hmm. But like, I'm not going to be homeless. I'm not going to lose my business. I'm not going to lose my job if like it doesn't work out. And so is it fear of just the unknown? Right? Or is it actually fear? So I think like really getting clear about that of like, am I actually afraid of this or am I just scared because I don't know what to expect?
Right. Because it's uncomfortable. And I'm a big proponent of like, apparently I'm very aggressive in my life. I just face shit. I talk about things that people don't want to hear and I just face shit. And so when I admit that I'm afraid, everything becomes easier. So the idea of like, people are like, just don't be afraid. Like, no, you can't not be afraid. Like, just admit you're afraid. Be like, I am afraid.
1,000%.
I'm going to sit in this fear and I am still going to do the thing because at the end of the day, as Alex said, what is the worst that is going to happen? And if you can actually write down or speak the words of the worst thing that will happen, you'll then be like, okay, well, that's not actually as bad as I thought it was going to be. I'm still afraid of it.
Yep.
But I'm uncomfortable because the other thing I think that so many of us are just, we don't like to be uncomfortable. Like living in uncomfortableness is something that we don't like to do. So Alex, you talked to me about a situation earlier today about someone who has a new job and mm-hmm. they are thinking about going back to their old job because this new job, they feel uncomfortable. They don't know what they're doing. It's not what they expected per se. And the first thing I said to you was like, well, you're always going to be uncomfortable with something new that you haven't done for like 3 months.
Yeah.
3 months, guys. 3 months.
As entrepreneurs and solo spa owners, like we all have been in situations that are super uncomfortable. And I feel like that is just like par for the course. It is a part of being a business owner. And there will always be things that you are uncomfortable with, but as long as it's not going to put you out of house and home, like just launch that new offer, try that new thing. Maybe it's like, I really don't want to do wax or hair removal anymore. Then don't fucking do it. Like whatever. There's no law of the land that says you have to do things a specific. I mean, there is the health board, whatever, but like that you have to do your business a specific way. Or like, you can make it your own and you can have it be what you actually want it to be. And that is okay. Even if that's not what other people are doing, even if you're afraid of what people are going to say, like it's okay.
Right. Be the unicorn. And I know that it's so easy for us to say, be the unicorn. And like, we're like, oh, I'm going to be a unicorn. It is effing scary to be the unicorn. It is effing scary to be different than the herd, be different than the pack, and do your own thing. Alex has known me a long time. I often do not do what other people do. It is very hard sometimes to look around and be like, I know that I'm doing the right thing, and holding firm in your knowledge and your truth of that. Mm-hmm. It is uncomfortable and hard. It is okay. And remember, anytime you can be like, you know what? I'm going to backpedal that a little bit. I'm going to change that a little bit. Everything is malleable.
Yeah. And I think honestly, so much of that fear too comes from, worrying about what other people are going to say or what they're going to think. And the people that love you will support you regardless. And the people who don't love you are going to be assholes regardless. So don't make any decisions based on them.
No, absolutely not. And we kind of talked about your fear of, of being liked or disliked. And if you are doing something that you're like, well, people aren't going to like me if I do this, I mean, you're an entrepreneur, you're on the edge of it, right? But you're probably actually, a lot of times you're actually doing something that nobody's actually even paying attention to. And that's the hardest. So like, you're like, I'm worried what people are going to think. I'm like, I'm worried that they're just going to watch. I'm worried that they're going to listen. I'm worried that I'm not speaking to 4 people right now. Right? So we've been doing this podcast for over a year, right? This is episode, I think 115.
Longer.
Right. Yeah. We've been doing it for a long time. We started at the beginning before the pandemic. So we've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, we're over 2 years.
Yeah. And it was only probably in the last 10, 12 months that we've actually gotten like a bigger viewership. And yet we come out, we do it every day. We come out and do it because it matters to us. That's why. And sometimes what we do is uncomfortable. What we talk about is uncomfortable. And we do it anyways.
Amen to that.
Right?
I mean, also too, like, when you have your, this idea of like belonging and like, who you belong with, this is why having business besties is so important. So you have someone who kind of like gets it, who you can call up and like, I don't need to explain context to you. Like you just get it.
Yeah.
Also building a business of clients that are people who you genuinely care about and, care about you as well. And who are on this mission with you. So that when there is someone who doesn't get it and who's not in the room with you or in the arena with you, and they're like, well, that's stupid. You can be like, okay, but it's not for you.
Right.
And that has been such a helpful thing to remember when I go and put myself out there. And for me, social media is a place where I'm putting myself out there all the fucking time. And it's in front of a bunch of people who I don't freaking know. And then there are people like, this is stupid. But I'm like, sure. But like the person underneath you was like, wow, I don't have pain for the first time. And like, that's who I do this for. Absolutely. So, reminding yourself of who that person is that you're doing this for and whose opinion actually matters. And then everybody else's is just bullshit noise. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely. And, you touched on the idea that, having someone to talk to really helps. So get the idea out. That's why I have my business besties as well. Getting that idea out to the universe sometimes makes it more real, makes it a reality. It also really helps if when you talk to that person is honest with you. So you want the people around you to be honest. So, your clients who you can like do something to and they're like, I don't know, this was kind of weird. Now they're not mean. They're just like honest. Like, this was kind of weird. I don't get it. But they give good feedback. They're like, well, what about if this or this or that and that? And you don't take it personally, which is hard sometimes, but you just keep doing the thing. You just keep working on it and getting it better and making it better until one day they're just like, oh, this is awesome.
Yes.
We all started at not awesome. One of my favorite video people, Sean Cannell, he taught me how to do YouTubes. He literally shows his very first YouTube video every single time he does a conference because he looks ridiculous. And now he's paid millions of dollars to do these and train other people. And he looks and sounds ridiculous. And he's like, because we all start bad. We all start bad.
Yeah.
So that's why I come from a place of bullshit and shit. It's fine.
Well, that even made me think, because I think sometimes like in business stuff, you're like, oh, but like it'd be so permanent. Like, I don't want to be known for this thing. And as you were telling that story, I was thinking of like, there's this one movement that I really like to do. I do it in my own personal practice, like for your shoulders, where you start on like hands and knees, you hover your knees up off the ground and basically keep your one hand planted while the rest of your body turns in one direction. And it's not easy to teach at all. But I keep practicing it in my own body so that I can better understand how to articulate it. And I've totally taken it to my membership. So paid clients, and they're like, I don't know, this hurts. I don't know how to do it. And I'm like, okay, let me think about that a little bit more. And then this is the process is the same. I throw it out there. I see what lands. I see what doesn't. I take it back. I digest it. I think through it. Cool. How can I change this? And then I offer maybe one different piece the next time and just keep getting better. Like you can always hone your craft, but if you never get started with the thing, you have nothing to hone. So you just have to get started.
And that is by no means, we have now shared that we are both not perfect, that we both have this problem. This conversation came up because we were both in the midst of this.
Yeah.
You know, so, and we are established business people. We are successful in our own right. We try to explain things to you as if we know what the hell we're talking about. And yet when we first started this podcast, Alex and I were like, I don't know, we watched the first few episodes. It was like, oh, what the heck are we even doing? How is this working out? That's what's going on. And it's evolved and it's changed and it, I think, has only gotten better. So when you do something, know that it will only get better. It will only get better. Mm-hmm. Especially if it starts crappy.
Everything starts shitty. Also, the people who are still standing, like we just went through 2.5, almost 3 years of a freaking global pandemic. Yeah. If you are still here, you are persistent as fuck. Okay. Yeah. And so those of us still standing are because we are built of a hardier stock than other people. And so you are strong enough to keep going. You are strong enough to do it. You are strong enough to withstand whatever's coming your way because what you have to offer is so important. Like people need to hear it and they need to experience it and they need to know it.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. So on that pep talk, because I think that is actually the way to end, on a pep talk from Alex telling you that you can do things. Because that's what we keep her around, because she pep talks all of us.
And I'm going to go listen back to it for myself too.
I mean, listen, when we'd started this episode, I was like, I'm writing down Post-it notes of the things that we said that matter, that I said that matter to me. Mm-hmm. Sometimes your own words are important, which is why you get it out. If you are doing a thing, if you've done a thing, we want to know about the thing. Tell us what awesome piece of shit you've put out recently so that we can watch it.
Yes. Or also if you just need like someone to say like, you got this, we're here for that too. So send us a DM. You can tag us on Instagram. Let us know. The show is at Skinfessional. Sybil is at Skin Fitness Expert. I am at Hala for Mala. Or you can leave us a voicemail into our Skinfessional box. What is that number, Sybil?
That number is 818-473-5277.
Or if you have, a little bit more you want to say and you don't want to feel pressured to say it right in the voicemail, like that always gets me so nervous, right? Mm-hmm. You can leave an email. Our email, as I punch my microphone here, is skinfessionalpod@gmail.com. So it's skinfessional like this show, pod@gmail.com.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited. I want to hear about all the things you might or might not be getting done because I want you to get things done. Alex and I have things that we're going to get done. So next show, we will tell you the things that we did. We will keep everyone accountable. So until next week,
keep your secrets to yourself.
Unless you're telling us.
Okay, bye.